In early June, Lieutenant Governor Brian Calley announced an ambitious plan to lead a ballot initiative to have a part-time legislature in Michigan. Now, many thought that big announcement was him running for governor. That hasn't happened yet. But the idea of a part-time legislature not tied into changing term limits has made for a hot debate across the state, and namely with the men and women who hold legislative jobs right now. Even members of Calley's own party aren't thrilled. I had that discussion with Senate Majority Leader Arian Meekhof and House Minority Leader Singh.
I do work part-time now. It's any part of 90 or 100 hours a week that you want. And I think it's incumbent on us to show the citizens what it is we do, so they don't have an appreciation for length of service or experience. And a company, if you're looking for folks, you're really looking for experienced folks that have done some number of things, because if you were to have a knee surgery or replacement, you would want the guy who's done 500 knee replacements, not the guy who came out of med school and is just starting out. Experience matters, and for some reason it isn't valued in this position. I haven't figured out why.
So are you talking more about also term limits as well?
Yes, I think that has something to do with it. I mean, we have Senator Knopf, Senator Prose, and others that have worked on public policy or appropriations, and they'll have a wealth of experience that can actually then represent the taxpayers much better when they know how the budgets are and how they can benefit the taxpayers, and use the dollars that they do send us, use them the most wise way to get the most for the dollar.
Representative Singh, what do you think? Should there be a part-time legislature?
Well, I was disappointed with how this all actually came to be, because it was very clear it was a political gimmick to kick off somebody's gubernatorial campaign. There are part-time legislatures. You could have taken the best from across the country, put it into a proposal, and from what I've heard about the proposal, none of those items are actually in there. And if you wanted to have a real conversation, come to the legislature. Let's have that conversation as a team. But it was very clear that this was really meant to kind of kick off somebody's gubernatorial campaign. He had 6.5 years to kind of bring up this proposal, didn't do it, but 2 days before he announces his campaign for governor, he does it. So to me, the whole concept wasn't really about good policy for the state of Michigan. It was more about a political gimmick.
All right, so how do you change the perception, though, that it seems that people in Michigan have? And the Center for Michigan did a study over this last year about terms of trust in government and what trust that people have or don't have that government and our elected officials can get things done. How do you change the perception, then, about what you are doing in Lansing? Or not doing in Lansing?
I think we haven't done a good job telling a story about how Michigan has improved under the current leadership. I mean, if Lieutenant Governor would have acknowledged, hey, this group of people, including Sam and others, have done some really difficult work to put Michigan in a really great spot. And then look at, if you acknowledge that and then say, but in the future we should do something different, and we may, if this proposal is correct, if I understand it correct, we may be the only state that's part-time and term limited. So in theory, you could have somebody be Speaker of the House after 90 days on the job. It seems a little bit disconcerting to most people.
It seems a little disconcerting to some people. Yeah. I mean, so that may maybe go part and parcel with that. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should have a conversation, but the legislature is closer to the people. It's not often that somebody calls the governor or gets to meet with the governor and so forth. So the legislature actually is the conduit for the people to actually get their policies and their voices heard to the legislature. So to kind of lessen that power and that ability doesn't make a lot of sense. As the legislature, we've had to hold this governor and this lieutenant governor accountable, whether it was for the Flint water crisis, for the unemployment insurance agency fiasco. That's what our legislative branch is supposed to be doing. And when you kind of lessen that, it doesn't really help the general public, and that's one of the reasons why governors love to talk about part-time legislatures, because they don't want to have the accountability that we can bring to the system.